I met Lena at a small beauty salon downtown. She was 23, loud, funny, a little reckless, but full of energy. I wasn't looking for anything serious back then, but she had this way of making every room feel lighter. We started talking, then hanging out, then seeing each other every day. 8 months later, she was already living at my place. It felt natural at the time. She'd leave her stuff around, cook sometimes, fall asleep on my couch. I figured if I was paying rent anyway, why not make it official? So we moved in together. That was the start of something I thought was love. I worked long hours, calibrating heavy equipment. She worked the front desk at the salon, always smiling for customers. I liked that she had ambition, or at least I thought she did. Then she quit her job. Said her boss was toxic, said she needed time to figure out her next move. I told her not to worry, that I had us covered. She smiled, kissed me, and said I was the best thing that ever happened to her. I believed her. Months passed, and her time off turned into routine. Brunch with friends, online shopping, streaming shows all day. Meanwhile, I was working overtime to cover rent, utilities, and her car note. She'd tell people how supportive I was, and I liked hearing that. It made the struggle feel worth it. When her mom got sick, I paid the hospital bills. When her brother lost his apartment, I helped with his deposit. It wasn't even a question. That's what you do for the person you love, right? At least that's what I thought. Every payday, I split the money like clockwork. Bills first, savings second, her needs third. I packed lunch every morning and skipped takeout to save a little extra. She said she wanted stability, a home, maybe marriage one day. I believed her again. We talked about buying a house, maybe somewhere quieter. She wanted a place with white walls and a walk-in closet. I started looking at loan options. She started looking at furniture she wanted me to buy. At first, it felt like teamwork. Then it started to feel like I was carrying both sides alone. She'd sleep late, wake up late, scroll her phone, and call it self-care. When I asked about job hunting, she said she didn't want to settle for something small. I didn't argue. I just worked harder. Her friends started joking that I was her sugar daddy. She laughed along. I didn't. But I kept paying, kept believing things would even out. Love, I told myself, is about patience. But what I didn't know was that patience without partnership is just denial. I thought I was building a future with her. In reality, I was building it for her. And she was already finding ways to live it without me. It started small, the kind of changes you almost miss at first. She stopped greeting me when I came home. No more hugs at the door, no more dinner waiting. Just her on the couch, legs crossed, phone in hand, TV playing nonsense. Dishes piled in the sink. Trash full. No groceries in the fridge. I wasn't asking for a perfect home, just some effort. She'd roll her eyes and say, "You're so uptight lately." Then came the excuses. She said she was tired, said I worked too much, said I made her feel unimportant. Funny, I was the one paying every bill. The phone changed next. She used to leave it lying around. Now it was locked all the time. Face down, never out of reach. She'd take it to the bathroom, even the shower. Notifications would buzz at midnight. When I asked who it was, she'd snap, "Why are you being so controlling?" I wasn't controlling. I was noticing. Her clothes changed too. More makeup, new outfits, gym clothes I hadn't seen before. She said she wanted to take better care of herself. I wanted to believe that. But her smile looked different, less real, more like performance. Then I heard a name. Dylan. She mentioned him once, then again, then every other day. He's my friend from work. He's funny. He gives the best advice. Soon, he was showing up in her stories. Mirror selfies, lunch photos, captions like my favorite coworker. At first, I tried to ignore it. I'm not the jealous type. But when you see someone you love glowing for someone else, it stings. One night, she came home late, said they were doing inventory. It was raining outside, and she was wearing a hoodie I'd never seen. Too big, too new, and definitely not mine. I asked about it. She said it was Dylan's. He lent it to me because I was cold. Relax, Mark, it's just a hoodie. I let it go that night, but the thought didn't. I started noticing more things. Her phone lighting up when she smiled. Her perfume changing. Her laughter softer when she texted. She used to send me memes during the day. Now she didn't even answer my calls. When I'd ask to go out, she'd say we didn't have the money. But she had money for nails, brunch, and gym smoothies. The distance grew like a quiet disease. Every day felt less like home and more like a waiting room. I'd work 12 hours, come back, and feel like a guest in my own apartment. She blamed me for being distant, said I didn't make her feel alive anymore. I looked at her and wondered who I was even talking to. The girl I fell for was gone. In her place was someone who looked at me like I was a burden. That's when I realized love can end long before anyone says it out loud. And the silence between us was already louder than any argument could ever be. The night I found the hoodie changed everything. It was stuffed behind her dresses, hidden like a secret she didn't want me to find. Gray, branded, smelling like cologne that wasn't mine. I held it for a long time, just staring at it. No shouting, no crying, just silence. That kind of silence, where every answer you need is already there. When she came home, she was smiling, humming, acting like nothing was wrong. I held up the hoodie and asked, "Whose is this?" She froze, just for a second, then rolled her eyes. "Relax, Mark, it's Dylan's. He lent it to me, don't be paranoid." That was it. No apology, no shame, just dismissal. That moment killed something inside me. Not the love, not yet, but the respect. I went to bed that night staring at the ceiling, realizing the relationship was already over. The next morning, I made a plan. If she could play games, I could play strategy. I wasn't going to scream or beg. I was going to walk out clean. I started collecting everything. Photos of bills, receipts, lease documents, car payments. Every dollar I had spent, every name that tied us together. I built a spreadsheet, line by line, proving how much of her life I had paid for. 80%. That's how much of our expenses came from my pocket. Rent, car insurance, groceries, her mom's bills, even her brother's moving costs. I didn't feel angry. I felt focused. I met with an attorney during my lunch break. She looked over everything and said, "You've basically been her sponsor." Then she explained what I needed to do. Close shared accounts. Transfer deposits. Change my direct deposit to a new bank. Cancel every card she used. And if possible, get her name on the lease instead of mine. That last part caught my attention. The apartment was in my name. She was just listed as an occupant. That meant if she signed anything with her name on it, she'd be fully responsible. I called our property manager, a kind older lady named Wendy. Told her I wanted to transfer the lease to Lena. She said Lena would have to qualify on her own. I laughed and said, "She won't." Wendy hesitated, then said if Lena signed a lease transfer form, I could walk away clean. Perfect. That weekend, I pretended everything was fine. I acted normal, cooked dinner, even watched a movie with her. She thought we were just in another quiet phase. She had no idea I was already gone in my head. I packed slowly, starting with small things she wouldn't notice. Tools, documents, my laptop, personal photos. I hid the boxes in the closet. Every night, I double-checked the plan, every step lined up. I wasn't leaving out of anger. I was leaving out of clarity. Because once you see the truth, pretending becomes impossible. And the man who used to beg for her attention was now counting down the days to his freedom. Friday night came, and everything was set. Lena was getting ready for a girls' night out. Hair straightener on the counter, perfume heavy in the air. She was wearing a black dress she said was on sale, but I knew it was charged to my card. I walked into the bedroom holding a folder and a pen. "Hey," I said casually, "the leasing office sent this early. Just needs your signature." She barely looked up from the mirror. "Already? Didn't we just renew?" "Yeah," I said. "They're doing early paperwork this year." She sighed, scribbled her name, and went back to her lipstick. Didn't read a single line. Didn't even ask what it was. Just signed it and said, "Happy now." "Ecstatic," I said quietly. She laughed, thinking it was sarcasm. But I meant it. That signature was freedom. As soon as she left for the night, I scanned the document and emailed it to Wendy. 30 minutes later, I got the confirmation. My name was officially off the lease. I sat there staring at the screen, feeling the weight lift off my chest. Saturday morning, she went to brunch with her friend Amber. Perfect timing. I rented a U-Haul, loaded the boxes I'd been hiding for weeks. Everything I owned fit neatly into one truck. Tools, clothes, books, and the framed photo of my dad. No chaos. No noise. Just calm execution. 2 hours later, I was done. The movers closed the truck doors just as her car pulled into the lot. She stepped out laughing on the phone, then saw the truck. Her smile dropped instantly. She walked over fast. "What the hell is this?" "I'm moving out," I said simply. "You're kidding, over a hoodie." "It was never about the hoodie," I said. "That was just the final receipt." She started shouting, saying I couldn't just leave her like that. I handed her the folder. "You signed this 2 days ago. You're now the only name on the lease. Everything's in your name." She blinked at the paper like she couldn't read it. "You tricked me," she whispered. "No," I said. "I just gave you what you wanted, independence." She stood there frozen, mascara starting to run, phone still in her hand. I picked up the last box, my dad's old wrench set, and placed it in the truck. Then I looked at her one last time. "You'll be fine," I said. "You always said you didn't need me." She didn't answer, just stared as I closed the door. I drove away without looking back. No dramatic music, no goodbye text, no second thoughts. Just the sound of the road under my tires and the quiet that followed. For the first time in years, that silence didn't feel empty. It felt clean. It felt earned. It felt like freedom finally had a sound, and it was the hum of an engine pulling away. The first few days after I left were quiet. No calls, no messages, no drama. I figured she was still processing or pretending she didn't care. But silence never lasts with people like Lena. By the third day, the text started. "Are you serious right now?" Then, "You can't just leave me with everything." I didn't reply. The next day, she called 6 times in a row. When I ignored her, she sent, "You're heartless. You'll regret this." I didn't. By the end of the week, reality started to hit her. Rent was due, bills were stacking, and my name was gone from everything. Her paycheck from the boutique barely covered her makeup habit. Then her friend Amber messaged me. "You really left her like that. She's falling apart." I didn't respond, but I saved the message. People love to rewrite stories when consequences show up. Meanwhile, I was at peace. I had my own apartment, my own keys, and zero noise. But Lena's life was unraveling fast. Her credit card got declined at her favorite cafe. Her car payment bounced. And her landlord, well, technically, her landlord now, sent the first late notice. She tried to call the property office, but Wendy just forwarded the signed transfer. Her signature, her lease, her problem. That's when the panic began. She started telling mutual friends I scammed her into signing something. Said I forged documents and abandoned her. The truth didn't matter to her, only attention did. But truth has a way of surfacing. The second week, she posted online. A black screen with white text. Some people will use you until you're empty. No names, but everyone knew. Her friends flooded the comments with sympathy. Stay strong, girl. You deserve better. I stayed silent. I didn't need to defend myself. The next day, I got a text from the leasing office. Just a heads up, she hasn't paid rent. 3-day notice sent. I replied, thank you for letting me know. That was all. A few days later, another message came. Formal eviction process starting soon. I didn't smile. Didn't celebrate. Just nodded to myself. She had been living off my effort for years, and now she was learning what effort costs. Dylan, her gym guy, was long gone. Blocked her, deleted socials, vanished. Amber tried to comfort her, but even she got tired of the drama. By week 3, Lena was posting quotes about toxic men and starting over. She wasn't starting over. She was falling apart. Her job cut her hours after she showed up late 3 times. Then they let her go completely. No income, no apartment, no backup plan. The girl who once bragged about living downtown was back in her old bedroom at her parents' house. And for the first time, she had to face the thing she'd avoided for years. The cost of living when no one else is paying the bill. A month passed before I heard her name again. A coworker mentioned seeing something about me online. At first, I thought it was nothing. Then I checked. Lena had posted one of those vague, dramatic messages. To every woman who's ever been gaslit and discarded, you are not alone. No names, but everyone who knew us knew who she meant. The comments were full of hearts and sympathy. Men are trash. You deserve better. It was almost funny. The same people who saw me paying for everything were now calling me abusive. I didn't reply. Didn't message. Didn't defend myself. I just opened a folder on my computer labeled proof. Inside were screenshots, receipts, lease transfers, and bank records. Her signature on every page. I sent it all to my lawyer. She replied in minutes. You're covered. If she escalates, we'll shut it down legally. And of course, Lena escalated. A week later, HR at my company called me. Hey Mark, we got an anonymous email. Something about emotional abuse and financial manipulation. They didn't even sound worried. I told them everything. Showed them the documents and the emails from my attorney. They laughed. Don't worry, man. We know who you are. We've got your back. That was the difference between her stories and my facts. She had drama. I had evidence. That night, I posted one photo on my story. Just the signed lease with her name clear as day. Caption, be careful what you accuse people of. Some of us keep receipts. I didn't tag her. Didn't mention her name. Didn't have to. By the next morning, her little army of supporters went silent. Comments deleted. Accounts turned private. Even Amber disappeared from her side. Lena texted me that afternoon. You're ruining my life. I replied with one sentence. You did that yourself. Then I blocked her number for good. Months passed quietly after that. I got a promotion, a pay raise, and my peace back. No late-night arguments. No secret messages. No walking on eggshells. Just calm days and quiet nights. Then one day, I saw her again. At a grocery store, of all places. She looked different, tired eyes, messy hair, oversized hoodie. When she saw me, she froze. Then she rushed over. Mark, please, can we talk? Her voice cracked. I messed up. You didn't deserve that. I didn't know what I was doing. I looked at her, really looked, and saw a stranger. The same woman who once mocked my effort was now begging for a minute of my time. I said one word. No. And walked away. No anger. No satisfaction. Just peace. Because revenge isn't about making them hurt. It's about walking away so quietly they can't believe you're really gone. And that silence, that calm, will echo longer than any apology ever could. It's been a year since I walked away. My life is quiet now. Work is steady, bills are low, peace comes easy. I wake up without tension, without waiting for an argument to start. The apartment stays clean. The silence feels full, not lonely. Sometimes, I think about how different things could have been. If she had chosen honesty over comfort. If I had noticed the cracks sooner. But regret is just another form of looking backward. And I don't live there anymore. Lena disappeared from everyone's feed months ago. No posts, no stories, no new beginnings. Just gone. I guess that's what happens when your lies run out of fuel. Me, I moved forward. Got promoted, started saving for a house, even smiled again. I learned that peace isn't something you find. It's something you protect. And sometimes protecting it means walking away from everything that breaks it. I didn't win or lose that story. I just ended it on my own terms. And in the quiet that followed, I finally heard the sound of freedom.